Hi. So I've been reading and I came up with something that I thought that would be fun to share. So I'm looking up some information in the Old Testament and I was reading about King Solomon. And so just a little background on King Solomon. He was David's son, King David's son, and he became king after David. So Solomon, son of, this is from Second Chronicles 1, and this is the first chapter. So Solomon, son of David, established himself firmly over his kingdom, for the Lord his God was with him and made him exceedingly great. Then Solomon spoke to all Israel, to the commanders of the thousands and commanders of hundreds, to the judges and to all the leaders in Israel, the heads of families. And Solomon and the whole assembly went to the high place at Gibeon, for God's tent of meeting was there, which Moses the Lord's servant had made in the desert. Now David had brought up the ark of God from Kirith Jearim to the place he had prepared for it, because he had pitched a tent for it in Jerusalem. But the bronze altar that Bezalel, son of Uri, the son of Ur, had made in Gibeon in front of the tabernacle of the Lord. So Solomon and the assembly inquired of him there. Solomon went up to the bronze altar before the Lord in the tent of meeting and offered 1,000 burnt offerings on it. That night, after he had given all these offerings, God appeared to Solomon and said to him, "Ask for whatever you want me to give." That would be a big question, right? Whatever you want me to give. So Solomon answered God, "You have shown great kindness to David my father, and have made me king in his place. Now, Lord God, let your promise to my father David be confirmed, for you have made me king over a people who are as numerous as the dust of the earth. Give me wisdom and knowledge, that I may lead this people, for who is able to govern this great people of yours?" So, of all the things he could have asked for, that was pretty amazing, right? I'm asking for wisdom and knowledge. God said to Solomon, "Since this is your heart's desire, and you have not asked for wealth, riches, or honor, nor for death of your enemies, and since you have not asked for a long life, but for wisdom and knowledge to govern my people, over whom I have made you king, therefore wisdom and knowledge will be given you. And I will also give you wealth, riches, and honor, such as no king who was before you ever had, and none after you will ever have." That's pretty impressive, because he had a heart for God, and he asked for wisdom instead of the many things he could have asked for. God gave him his request and then blessed him so abundantly beyond. And I just think that is a beautiful picture of where our hearts can be and what we can do. So that's not the part that was getting me. Although that is very interesting. I actually was reading in 1 Kings, and what happens after he gets all of this wealth and information and knowledge and becomes rich and all that good stuff. The Queen of Sheba hears about this, and this is what happens later. So this is 1 Kings 10, starting with verse 1, and we'll go through 13. When the Queen of Sheba heard about the fame of Solomon and his relation to the name of the Lord, she came to test him with hard questions. Arriving at Jerusalem with a very great caravan with camels carrying spices, large quantities of gold, and precious stones, she came to Solomon and talked with him about all that she had on her mind. Solomon answered all her questions. Nothing was too hard for the king to explain to her. When the Queen of Sheba saw all the wisdom of Solomon and the palace he had built, the food on the table, the seating of his officials, the attending servants in their robes, his cupbearers, and the burnt offerings he made at the temple of the Lord, she was overwhelmed. She said to the king, "The report I heard in my own country about your achievements and your wisdom is true. But I did not believe these things until I came and saw with my own eyes. Indeed, not even half was told me. In wisdom and wealth you have far exceeded the report I heard. How happy your men must be. How happy your officials who continually stand before you and hear your wisdom. Praise be to the Lord your God, who has delighted in you and placed you on the throne of Israel. Because of the Lord's eternal love for Israel, he has made you king to maintain justice and righteousness. And then she gave him a whole bunch of stuff. And the king gave her a bunch of stuff, and and then she went back home. All of that to say, I started thinking about that, and my thought was, what would the Queen of Sheba say if she came to my house? And I started thinking about all of the little things, like would she come in and would she say she didn't like this or she didn't like that, or that was not nice or whatever. And I started to think about it, and it came to me that it's really not about the house itself, right? She could have said a lot of things. She was very impressed by everything, but what she was most impressed about was that Solomon was blessed by the Lord, that he had found favor with God, and that he had blessed Solomon. So he answered all of her questions, and she was then able to give that information. Now, how many times have you gone to someone's house and felt uncomfortable? The house may have been perfectly clean, but you still felt uncomfortable being in the home. Or maybe you've gone to somebody's house and it was chaotically messy because of lots of kids or whatnots and things like that, or they're in the middle of a project or something, but you still felt so peaceful in that home and relaxed and comfortable and just felt welcomed, right? We've all been in homes where we've felt different things. When you walk into a home, it doesn't take very long for you to start feeling whatever the feeling of that home is, right? But it's not about what's in the house. It's not about the furniture. It's not about how well they decorated. Did they put the right paint up? Did they put the right furniture in? Is the house big enough? Did it cost enough, right? None of that stuff matters. What actually matters is the people in the home. What do their hearts say, right? Not what does the color of the wall say. And yeah, it's not a bad thing to make your house look nice if that's what you want. Like, paint the walls different colors, or, get a nice couch, or however you want to do to make it feel comfortable for you. But it's not about the value of all of that. It's about the value in your heart. If your heart is hard, then people can come to your home and it can be a beautiful home, and it's not going to make them feel comfortable. They're going to still feel uncomfortable being in that home. If your heart is sad, then when people come to your home, that's what they're gonna feel, that sadness, right? What is coming through your heart is what they're going to feel, and how welcome they're going to feel. I've been in some very beautiful houses that are huge and beautiful and lovely, decorated with just the high-end furniture and things like that, and I didn't feel like I could sit anywhere. Like, you could not sit on the couch without, like, just sitting at the very edge and feeling very uncomfortable, like I should not be sitting on this, right? That's not a heart of God, right? That's a heart of someone who is probably selfish, or not wanting to be a gracious host, right? But it all comes down to, what is my heart? What is my heart? And for me, I have spent a long time with a very chaotic heart, and my home felt very chaotic and very uncomfortable, that I wouldn't even invite people over, honestly, because I felt really like just chaotic there, and my home is still not the cleanest home in the world. We're under construction still, so there are parts of the house that you can see the 2x4s and things like that, and that's okay. I mean, it's okay. It will get fixed eventually. It'll get finished, but what changed wasn't really the home, the structural home, right? But what actually has changed over the last year or so is my heart. My heart has changed. I decided, instead of feeling uncomfortable and chaotic all the time, that I wanted God to come and show me and give me his wisdom and his peace and his love, and to show me how to love people the way he does and to see people the way he does. And that's what's really changed. My house looks the same. Actually, I have pictures for years back that it pretty much looks the same as it did. But what has changed is my heart, and what I've done in my heart, and how God has worked in my heart to make it more comfortable. And now I feel like I can invite people over and they feel comfortable. And it's not a perfect home by any means. It's not completed. It's a work in progress, but there's some of it that's done. And I'm proud of those parts. I'm proud of the parts that aren't finished, even, because there's progress, right? There's something happening there. So it's not about how tidy the house is. It's not about how expensive the house is. It's not about the paint that you chose. It's not about making sure that you have all the right colors and coordinating and everything goes together like it should. That's great, and it's a wonderful thing to do. If it makes you feel better and if it makes you feel more comfortable in your home, but that isn't what is going to make people feel comfortable when they come to your home. It's really all about the heart of the home, right? What is the heart of your home saying, right? What is the heart of my home saying when people come to my home? Am I gracious? Am I welcoming to them? Do I love them where they are? Do I just accept people for who they are when they're here? That's absolute, right? I really made an effort to make my home more like that, right? So our homes are an outward appearance of what is in our hearts, and what we want people to say, or what I want people to see in my heart, is I want to see that they are loved. And that's the number one thing that is important to me, is that people are loved and that they're welcome to my home. So what I have found overall is that the more peace and wisdom I gain from God, the more peace and welcoming my home has become. And I'm hoping that others that come to my home will feel that. I'm hoping that as more and more people do come to my home, that they will feel that they will recognize that, and that they will be blessed by that. And I hope that you're blessed by my words today. It's just something that's been on my heart for a while, and I just wanted to share. And if you like it, go ahead and just give me a little note in there and say that that you enjoyed it, or that it touched your heart, or that you that I'm totally way off. I don't know. Whatever you want to put in there, but just put something in there to say that you saw it. The last time I posted something, people would tell me that they watched it, but nobody really said anything. And I'd love to get some feedback on what you think. So I hope that you have a glorious and blessed rest of your day. It is beautiful where I am outside, and I think I'm going to go outside and enjoy the sunshine for a few minutes, and then probably get back to work doing some things, maybe cooking dinner or something. So have an amazing, blessed day, and may the Lord shine upon your face.